Hello everyone, it's a beautiful Wednesday on Your View. I am Moriah Afolabi Brown. Welcome to the show. Hi ladies, I have my co-host here with me. How you guys doing?
Very good, thank you.
I like the green stuff you're wearing today. This
Thank
lemon
you.
thing
Lemon.
is making you pop somehow.
Thank you.
How is everything? Are you good?
Good.
All right.
Very good.
It's Wednesday, so we know you're a bit on the calm side today. How you doing, Tope?
Let that calmness enter all topical. No spike.
How you doing, Tope?
I'm very good. So, we're celebrating one tooth. My baby brought out one tooth.
Oh.
And, I bless God that I don't have to worry about, stooling and all that. You know, it's always worrisome when children are teething. There's always the problem of, are there going to be side effects? But I'm happy that we didn't have any of all those. They said that they didn't eat as much, but I didn't sleep. So, breastfeeding is the cure.
Breastfeeding.
Whatever, I need to sleep. I'm still suffering from, we still need to work around that.
Okay.
I don't know what to do, but then we'll survive. I know I will survive.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah,
I will survive.
2 babies, one side.
You'll survive.
How you doing?
Like, Mariah, you're so sarcastic. I've been there, done that.
Yeah. I ain't going back.
Tell
there
me
like
something new.
that. How you doing, Jerry?
Moriah Afolabi Brown. The kind of Jesus that is inside my belly this anymore. But I have chosen to be quiet and be calm. Let the name peace come upon me. But I'm well. So many good things happening. We thank God for life. My sister-in-law came back from the US with her baby girl, Zoe. She's been away. She went to have a baby. She was telling me that
That's the latest.
the medical. My sister, you will not blame. See, when you go to the hospital outside
Proper
this
hospital.
country,
you will
not
Nigeria
blame
again.
the people that are spending money to go and have their babies abroad. I mean, it's amazing. Like, it's a hotel, you know, the setting and all that. I mean, we will get there in this our country. Our medical facilities will be upgraded.
Amen. Right. It's Wednesday, right?
Yes, so it's Wednesday.
So, Shegun is a day older today, my brother. Happy birthday to him. Yeah, he's a day after my husband. So,
See the way you just said it.
happy birthday to Shegun. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thanks, Mrs. Fuchs, for the tea. Really nice.
Our cookies.
And the cookies. Yeah, we're having cookies for. And the perfume.
And
She came with gifts. That's how they give in
And
Geneva.
the t-shirts,
They
the
give
mugs.
they are givers in Geneva. And she just came and gave plenty of gifts. Yesterday was like we're feasting.
We're feasting, though.
See?
We should emulate her.
Yes.
The way it made us happy, you can imagine how
Yes.
we'll make other people
Other
happy.
people
Saying,
happy.
cookies, chocolate, everything. Thanks, Mrs. Fuchs. All right, let's start very quickly with the Punch. Jonathan under attack for saying Dasuki didn't steal $2.1 billion. Let former NSA others prove their innocence in court, says APC. Ex-president preparing the ground for his own defense, says Kakol. Picture here of traders displaying their goods around a public mobile toilet in Oshodi.
Oh my God.
Ondo Varsity suspends 6 lecturers for misconduct. Senate okays reintroduction of toll on federal roads. Lagos policemen shoot teenager, attack brother with cutlass. Olubadan visits Alake, preaches peace among Yoruba monarchs. Blame McCarthy for collapse of PDP stocks, says sheriff. EFCC to arraign Obanikoro Fanikayode in November. Buhari seeks National Assembly's approval for $29.9 billion loan. And we're investigating those in Buhari's government, says Magu. Okay, so let's take the human angle story.
Yeah. Samuel Omojua was allegedly attacked by policemen from the K2 Police Division.
Yes.
He was shot. He's in the hospital, orthopedic hospital in Igbobi. They also alleged that his brother David was caught with a cutlass by the policemen. The police spokesperson, Dolapo, has denied the allegations that policemen are not farmers. Why would they cut anyone with a cutlass? That they were trying to stop Okada riders. You know, it's illegal to have Okadas on the expressway. That they were trying to stop Okada riders when this clash happened.
Sadly, the thing is, the brother of the person involved in this sent a message to me on Facebook to say that we should highlight this situation, that the police isn't taking up the bills of this child, this Samuel, and that he was shot on his leg. Now, as much as we know that it is illegal to ply bicycles or motorcycles on the express, there are other ways of disarming people rather than making
shooting live ammunition
at someone. Especially since he's not even the Okada rider, he was a passenger. Please. The police they are wrong. The police is
pretty close to us, so we'll definitely get our correspondent to investigate and get us updated information on that. I want to even
say lately that the Okada riders have actually come back on the major highways. Yes. I mean, and I think it's very wrong.
Let's move on very quickly to The Nation. So we'll give you updated information on that story. Jonathan, Dasuki didn't steal $2.2 billion weapons cash. And let me quote him. I don't believe anybody can just steal $2.2 billion. We bought warships. We bought aircraft. We bought lots of weapons for the army and so on and so forth. Are you still saying 2.2 billion? So where did we get the money to buy all those things? Yes, there were some issues. Yes, there is still corruption issues, but some of it were overblown. You cannot say the National Security Advisor stole $2.2 billion. It is not just possible.
Okay.
Quotes. Now, our best yield, an era of unprecedented economic growth for Nigeria. Sorry, our best yielded an era of unprecedented economic growth for Nigeria. That's our ex-president still talking. Buhari seeks 180 billion naira environment for wages, amnesty, NYSC, others. No need to hike petrol price, says NNPC. Let's talk about Jonathan, because since I read the quotes here. Who has that story?
Well, I have the story in terms of what the president is saying.
Which is pretty straightforward.
Which is pretty straightforward that they are over-bloating. The corruption saga against his administration is being overhyped. It is being exaggerated. That, yes, they had some issues in terms of stolen funds, but that 2.2 billion, considering the fact that this was the money allocated to buy ammunition, and those ammunitions were purchased. My personal opinion on this is that the president, we've asked him to say, we wanted his opinion on a lot of other things, you know, on how the money was being disbursed, and everybody's saying that it was ordered from the presidency. Yeah. And he didn't say anything about that. We also know that his wife has been found culpable in $13 million scam, and he didn't say anything about that. So why is he rising to the defense of Dasuki on this?
In fairness to him, he's been quiet for a while, and he still doesn't want to say anything.
And I think he should still remain quiet because the case is still, you know, ongoing.
And he said that also.
This kind of statements would change certain things and opinions about the case. But I wanted to quickly talk on.
He mentioned the ammunitions were purchased, but we know for a fact that the ammunition, because investigations proved that the ammunitions purchased were not up to the quality that was stipulated. They fairly used helicopters were bought for the price of brand new helicopters. Okay. So that means there was corruption, and it led to the death of people on the field. Okay. So I think that there's no defense for this, and I wish he would be the one to face. He should be prosecuted for this one way or the other, as opposed to him just escaping and giving speeches everywhere, making it look like he was innocent.
I wanted to quickly talk on the no need for petrol hike. The group group general manager and the group public affairs division for NNPC, Garba, he was saying that contrary to what the reporters are saying about fuel hike, that there's no such thing, that that the federal government has no plan to hike fuel. And that the federal government, he said something that they had terminated petrol subsidy a long time ago. He can categorically say that they have terminated fuel subsidy. Because yesterday we were talking and we were saying that let them remove subsidy and know that we are clear from any form of subsidy. So he's coming out to say that there's no such thing as subsidy and there's no plans for increment of fuel prices.
Okay, let's move on to Vanguard very quickly. Dasuki couldn't have stolen $2.1 billion, says Jonathan. NERC. Another Buhari nominee, Akinwande, turns down nomination. Senate wants toll gates back on federal highways. Buhari seeks National Assembly's approval for $30 billion loan, environment for $500 billion intervention fund. And why 2017 budget won't be less than $6 trillion, Adeosun tells Senate. Okay, so Akinwande, another nominee, said he wasn't interested.
The man was in MIT, Massachusetts. That he's doing a project there. And that to him as well. He wasn't carried along. There was no form of communication. You know, he just found out. So when they were screening, the NEC were screening the nominees, they found out that his own credentials were missing in that. So he didn't submit any credentials because he said nobody informed him. He wasn't consulted.
And he's pretty busy in MIT.
Yeah, he's busy and he's not ready to leave his business.
Okay.
Maria, this smells a little of incompetence to an extent, because you see, you cannot submit a name that the person that you're submitting the name did not know he was being nominated for a position.
This is not the first time now, it happens.
Were you not supposed to first communicate with the person that we would like you to be an ambassador? Would you like to do that? Do you have capacity to do that? Are you interested?
My own father-in-law was nominated for something. He had no clue. They were calling the people. His name was written
trial on paper.
People were calling him, congratulations, congratulations, and he was wondering, congratulations, Babu, what are you talking about? He now went, everybody said, go to Abuja. They said, yeah, the next clinical. He went there. He said, oh, you were supposed to come on Monday. You're coming on Tuesday. So we already selected, the guys came on Monday.
Can you imagine?
Inaugurated them. Nobody told him anything about it. He only
have
his name. So trust me,
they know who they
So we have to be looking at papers.
No, but Mariah, this is a system that we thought was going to change under the new administration.
Well,
so we expect more from the new administration. Let them follow due process.
Let's move on quickly. Well, the due process
has
one
changed?
thing, but
Can you tell me anything that has changed?
at least we have more information. Before we're in the dark.
We're
Now
clueless.
we know that we can see the.
You'll be reading that you are arrested on paper
faces.
and you are in your house.
Do you know the
And
name they
paper
call
said you are
our
arrested.
Minister of Information? Do you know his name?
I
don't
want to
know.
Daily Sun.
I don't want
Our
to
final
know
paper
yet.
this morning. EFCC investigates ministers and others. Every government official is under scrutiny without knowing it, says Magu. Right. Revenue agencies stink, says Minister. They under-declare generated income, says Adeoshun. Ondo Guba, Abraham Jimo Ibrahim to know their fate tomorrow. Avengers bomb Chevron pipeline, threatening to back out of peace talks. Miyetti Allah's threat, Payoshe places Ekiti on alert. And Jonathan opens up on the Tollgates. Adeoshun was saying yesterday, listen, we are trying really hard to turn things around in this recession, but however, all the revenue agencies stink because they actually under-declare their profit. We don't even know. They'll say, I made this amount of money. You now find out the auditor goes, they realize that they've made much more. That it's difficult for them to block all those loopholes. So they're doing what they're working on right now is to how they can actually help block the loop so that we can get all the revenue.
No, but Murayo, the TSAs
Nothing
that
has changed. Nothing has changed.
No, wait. The TSA, it was supposed to address
That
this kind
issue.
of issues.
Because all the money goes in
all
anyway.
the money should ideally go
But
into that TSA.
If they don't put all the money in the TSA, how would you know? So you need to
Mariah.
ensure that we block the leakages, ensure that all the money goes into the TSA.
Also, I remember them saying that in the last administration, we were having cases of people making money. Like, let's say the NNPC makes money and then tells the government, I spent 80% of the money on doing this, that you have been budgeted for. Let all your expenses be under the appropriation. Don't spend your income personally
Outside.
without.
If
So
you
we're
want
still
to fight, sorry, darling, if you want to fight, what's it called, all this inappropriation, just computerize as in make everything electronic. It's true. Revenue, everything. By the
I'm
time
sure
you
it
do
is.
that, no,
They're
it's
still
not
finding-
now.
they're
I wanted to
some
talk
people.
about our president asking for a new loan of $30 billion
for infrastructure.
and payments of salaries.
No, I need to do that part.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
was
read
NYSC,
Yes.
the people
Amnesty.
that so
I read more of infrastructure.
we're still
okay.
taking loan to
Let's
pay
be
salaries.
optimistic.
selective exposure. I read
Let us-
that in mass communication theory.
all right.
You only see what you want to see.
Exactly. That's all we can take on front.
That's
page
what we
review.
have chosen to
Let us believe that they have our interests at heart. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Senate moves to reintroduce Tollgates. That's our hot topic. It's pretty trending right now. And later, we talk about gender equality. There's a men's conference coming, so we want to find out what it's about. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. According to reports, the Senate has passed a motion for the reintroduction of toll gates on the federal roads in the country. The motion was raised to support the federal government in maintenance of the federal highways as government cannot fund road construction and maintenance alone. What are your thoughts on this? It's your view. Call us on 070-806-6801. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. Now, this toll matter, it's not the first time. I remember the Lekki Expressway 2, where there were serious objections on putting the toll there. Now, they're thinking of putting that across the federal states. What are your thoughts on this? Let me start with Jumoke.
We had toll gates on federal roads. At least I remember Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, which had three on it. And President Obasanjo in 2004 said that they were just an avenue for corruption because they were not computerized nor electrified in such a way that the operators would print their own tickets. So they were just making money. So he removed toll gates across Nigeria. I like that this it's not an act yet. They're just discussing it on the floor of the Senate. It's coming from the Senate, especially Senator Olujimi, senator from Ekiti, who somebody accosted on Twitter, and she said that she paid her way through into the Senate, so she owes no one anything. Please, I'd like to do a small calculation to say that they're paid 30 million per month per senator, times 119 of them, times 12 months. What's the budget for works, housing, and electricity for Minister Fashola this year? It's about 462 billion. If we stop paying Senate, I think that we can maintain our roads.
Okay, well, no, so you're saying that we don't need tolls. We need to just divert money towards that. Okay.
No. Honestly, actually, tolls are good. Yeah. But I'm just saying that we can cut our budget
and sufficiently maintain
our roads by cutting our budget first, rather than impoverishing Nigerians more.
All right. So let me get to
now. I grew up with tolls on the road, so we used to have tolls. It wasn't effective then. It was taken out. A new kind of revenue to ensure that money is being made to maintain roads was put in by virtue of a taxation on pump price. Obasanjo implemented on petrol. So the idea is that rather than we have money, petrol dollar is coming in. Let's not use toll to fix the road. It's not working. People are just stealing and getting fat. Let's close it down. Let's put taxation on petrol purchase, and that way the money brought in from there will be used on road. How effective was that policy? You know, because before we jump and rush on any policy, we should check what went wrong in the last administration to be sure that we're not making the same mistake all over again. That's on one side. I feel that we've seen that effective management of public properties have not been well. We're not doing a good job of it. The LCC tolling is working because it is being managed in public-private partnership, PPP. I think that if we want to come in at that in any level, let's bring in private sector people, let them fix the road with their fund, let them toll the road to get back their money and consistently maintain it with a contract to ensure that the road is good. When you travel, I traveled this.
So that's possible. That could be a possible. When they say they want to bring back tolls, it's possible that they're going to bring in these new concession companies to actually handle that project. But the point I was going to bring out was the fact that using the Lekki Expressway as an example, we know, I mean, some of you know that if your car breaks down, for example, on that expressway, it's free. They come and pick it up for you for free. You don't have to pay for that. So that's part of the benefits of actually paying the toll, the maintenance of that way.
Partnership.
That's what I'm saying. Of course, I don't expect that the federal government would actually be
the ones might have been planning to do it.
I doubt that. I doubt that. They're probably going to bring in experts to do it. But the idea is that, don't you think it's a good idea to do the same thing? Because reducing government spending makes sense. However, don't you think people should take responsibility if they do know that I'm paying toll on this expressway?
I think Nigeria
they will then appreciate the effort. Let Ulas jump in.
I read in the papers today, I think in Punch, when they were talking about the toll, or which of the papers, they said that they are actually putting together, a tight policy that would control whatever toll that they want to put on the back on the roads. Towing a road is a fantastic idea. My worry here is, first of all, we know the terrain we're dealing with. We know Nigeria as a country. We know that a lot of times we go for the least standard, what's it called? Options. If you travel to Dubai, for instance, there are tolls everywhere. But because you are not seeing a physical mount doesn't mean that you're not being told. I mean, that you're not paying the toll fee. When we went to the United States, in the entire Houston, we were just passing and passing. Everywhere you could see, you know, the tolls, but they were all up. Now, for me, let technology meet, you know, whatever it is that they are trying to do.
Certainly.
Because you see, if they go back to the type of toll that we had, that you put roadblocks and all that, the kind of traffic that would come back to our roads, that's one. Number two, already as it stands, Murayo, if you know the cost, YK was complaining the other day of how much she spent on fixing the legs of her cars because of bad roads. Okay. So if you understand the cost of bad roads, and somebody comes to say, I want to fix this road, but I want to tow it, I don't think you will frown at that.
Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Good morning.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning, you guys. I like what you people are doing, but I just need to chip in some things. I want to start from coming to when you are reading your paper headline this morning concerning what Jonathan said, especially Tokwe's reaction to that statement. It is a simple mathematics. What I expect Tokwe to do is that if I thought those ammunition purchased at inferior level, they have price tag to have done plus or minus and see what you can remove from the 2.2 billion being talked about. Then you now find out that this money the federal government is talking about is not even up to 2.2 billion. So why the not?
True.
This is cacophony of sound.
I agree with you.
Another thing again is I will want my new panelists to do more of research, do investigative reporting, news behind news. Then you can be able to know how to tackle national issues.
Okay.
Please.
Thank you very much.
We're quoting the paper.
Hang in there. Our job, really, I understand the traditional expectation is that, oh, you have all the right information. But the truth is that our job is just to look at the papers and tell you what the papers said. We're not really expected to go into it and tell you. I understand the idea of proper research and doing and making sure that you have the information behind the information. Yes, but we just want to look at the papers, tell you what the papers say. You then go back and read the papers for yourself. But then their views are their own personal, individual views. So these are not journalists. Trust me, they're just women who, except for Jumoke, who is a journalist. But these are women who have their own views and they're expressing their views based on their own opinions. Doesn't mean that they are journalists. Back to the matter of this toll issue. Yes.
No, so okay, so let me just.
You were done because you asked something. Policies. People will not mind paying because you asked the question that if you're going to fix the road, I wouldn't mind paying money. I won't mind paying toll. I won't mind paying my taxes if I go to the hospital and I'm well treated. I won't mind paying the toll fee if the roads that I'm going to ply will be well fixed. If I'm sure the money would go to what it's meant to do, people won't complain about it. The issue I have with this bringing back of toll fee or of toll gates is the policy implementation. Okay. And how effective it will be.
Let me take this call very quickly. Good morning, are you there?
Inconsistent policies. Here today, there tomorrow.
Hello, are you there? Right, I can't hear this. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. Right. Okay. Yes.
I wanted to talk about inconsistent policies that in 2004 we removed toll gates. We want to bring them back in, for instance, 2017. Maybe in 2050 they'll bring them back again, back and forth. And then when you say I won't mind paying taxes, I already pay taxes. 30% of my company tax goes to the federal government already. They charge me 5% education tax. On personal taxation, they charge me 5%. The pump price of petrol is already taxed. On every deposit in my account, they charge me stamp duty. I'm already overtaxed. Now, how much is my salary this year alone that you have increased fuel pump price from 87 to 145? I used to use 20,000 a month to buy petrol before. Now I use 40,000. That cost has made every item to become more expensive. Our income is still the same, meaning that it has even dwindled by 50% because of high cost of commodities. So now, everywhere, every time I cross a federal road, you're going to tax me again. Why? Because you want to pay some people fat salaries?
No, that's not the reason.
Because 70%
you need
of
to
our
maintain
income,
those roads And that's one of the reasons. That's one of the
That's
reasons.
why I'm paying tax already. That's why I'm paying tax already.
Okay. One of the best roads I drove on, imagine 14 hours. All these things you're saying, people in developed countries still pay all those taxes and they still pay toll fee.
Is effective.
The only issue I have here is that if you say you want to make me pay premium, we are paying premium on Lekki, what's it called, Ajah Expressway. We are paying premium for the Ikoyi Bridge, and we see the work that is going on there. If your car breaks down, they come immediately to attend to you. So we are saying that, don't tell me that you want to mount up tolls. Fix the roads and let us enjoy that good road and see if we will not pay those taxes.
Okay, let me.
I mean, it's not a big deal.
Let me take this last call. Good morning. Are you there?
I'm there. Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
All right, ma. Please, everybody here in the studio, you have spoken well, especially Sister Uwa. What I want to say is that if you want me to pay, please repair the road and let me know that the road is okay. Not that because the last one we have, we are paying the roads. They were, in fact, too bad to the extent that when you are going, you have to start praying, reading your psalm, that God should take you to your destination.
Yes.
So if they know that they want to bring it, and let's be sincere with ourselves, government cannot handle this toll. They will just be taking the money. It's one particular people that will be taking the money and be feeding their family. But if they want to privatize it and let's know the company so that let's have their phone number, we know people that will hold responsible.
Let me hang it up. Thank you very much, Blessing. The part I wanted to highlight earlier was the fact that I think citizens must understand that the responsibility is also with us. We are all in this together. It's not them, the government, to fix it. We are part of, in Lagos State, we feel like stakeholders. Jumoke, don't you think you're a stakeholder in Lagos, where you do your taxes that you're paying, you are seeing something done.
Yes,
same
true,
thing. So
true.
so even if Lagos State come tomorrow and say, okay, we want to tax this, and you might not even be as cynical towards it because you feel that they are working. The same thing here. If we use the same mentality, say, okay, we are Nigerians. Okay, yes.
What is government doing for me for free? What's government doing for me for free? The tax that we pay already, what are they doing for free? Healthcare, you will pay a stipend. These federal schools, you will pay a stipend. NEPA is not for free. So why are they taxing?
No, please.
Sorry, let me just. My husband goes on Lagos Ibadan Expressway almost on a daily basis. If you know the number of people that die on a daily basis, the cost that we are losing, that these roads are not fixed, is much worse than you paying a token.
So why is the burden coming on us when you are not sacrificing? I get what Jumoke is saying.
That's it now.
When your salaries are not being reduced. Well, I agree with tolling. I agree with tolling if it is transparently done. If the contract is awarded and it is effectively the policy is effectively executed. However, the issue they're having is that the roads are not good now because we don't have money. That's a lie. We have money enough to make our roads good.
That's what I'm
people
saying.
Are willing to work.
Really?
Yes.
Let me speak to Fashola on this because I don't think...
He wasn't giving the money.
Exactly. So I'm just... we have the money. I'm wondering... The man is saying that they're giving him tranches.
Some people are getting the money. Some people are getting the money.
30 million a month. For
people
what?
Are getting the money.
Anyway, this is a 30 million matter.
The money
National
to fix...
Assembly said they're going to let us know exactly how much.
The money...
When we know, we'll now confirm
the money they use to fix the road is available. They will fix the road. But the money to maintain the road is what those toll fees will do. Okay, it's for road maintenance. It's not for fixing road.
It's still a motion in the Senate, so hopefully we'll see how that goes.
If they want to pass it, they better reduce their own salaries first. If not, we are going to protest on the road. What's government doing for us for free?
All right.
It's true.
All right, that's all we can take on Hot Topics. When we come back, we're talking about gender equity. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
We're talking about gender equality, which is now being promoted as women are taking crucial role in different sectors, ranging from politics, economic decisions, and different spheres of life. However, not a lot of men support the gender equality idea. So we ask, how can men be supportive, especially in this campaign of gender equity versus gender equality? Now, we have a key influencer of Voice of Change, Mr. Dennis Onoise, here with us. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning. It's good to be here with you.
You can call us on 07080668014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Now, Voice for Change, obviously, is an NGO that is pushing for the information, the knowledge for people to understand the meaning of gender equity versus equality. We don't know, there's a difference, and I want you to explain what is the difference between gender equality and gender equity.
Thank you for your question. I think these are some of the misconceptions. These have been one of the reasons whenever you talked about gender equality, men become resistant. Men are worried about, oh, women are wanting to take over the world. But that is exactly not what we mean when we talked about gender equality, gender equity, gender justice, and etc. What is important to understand really is that whereas equity is more like a process, equality is when you have mutual understanding of issues, mutual respect for one another, and equality is actually what we want to see at the end of the day. So equity is more like the process. However, I think one of the things we've learned from our work is that you need to be careful and use the right language if you are going to succeed in promoting gender equality with men. So now, for example, we work with religious leaders and we work with traditional institutions in promoting gender equality. What we've realized is that when engaging with them, before we bring them to any of our training, for example, or workshop, we don't use the word gender equality with them, we don't use the word gender equity. What resonates with them is gender justice, because almost all religions talk about justice and fairness and be good to one another. And that is actually what we are meaning. And when we talked about equality, we are also saying that we are looking at issues of opportunity. That women should also have opportunity to realize their innate potentials. Those things everybody is endowed with, you should be given opportunity. So there is no need to say because you have a girl, you have a boy, and you feel even when the girl is intelligent to go to school, you say, for example, no, I must get the boy to go to school because he's a boy, because the place of the woman is in the kitchen. So I think these are the issues. And then also to quickly add that part of the confusion is that we have had situations where when you talked about gender equality, men are worried, religious leaders are worried because they think you want to turn around what God have done. But what we also want to let people understand is that sex is different from gender. When you talked about gender, you are talking about roles and that men are supposed to play in society. And these are things that men and women are actually pushing and promoting, whereas sex are more of biological issues.
So it's rare to see a man advocating for this. You know, so what brought you into advocating for gender equity and equal stakes for women as opportunities for men?
Yeah, I think it's very important to first and foremost explain the fact that when you talked about gender, you are not just looking at women. Gender means the two sexes. So, and if we are going to have gender equitable society, it behoves both parties, it behoves both men and women to work together. Part of the challenge we've had in this part of the world for a very long time is the fact that when you talked about gender, everybody think you are looking at the well-being of the woman. But as society changes and as we grow, we're also realizing that this type of relationship that we have with our women at the moment is no longer even healthy for the men. Many men are dying younger. Many men are committing suicide due to challenges in life. They find it difficult to express this when they engage with the women who are supposed to be their partners. Why? Because society have brought them up. Social norms, stereotypes have brought them up to tell them that men are not supposed to cry. So you see a young boy who is growing up or helping the mother in the kitchen, and the man walks in, the husband says, "What are you doing in the kitchen? Don't you know that boys are not supposed to be in the kitchen?" So we grow up with this understanding. We grow up with this belief that we must be aggressive to make it in life. And so that aggressiveness even takes us to sometimes become violent towards our partners. So what we are trying to promote, and we are not blaming men here, we are not saying we demonize men, because even both men and women are guilty of this same problem. Women spend almost 60 to 70% of their time with these children who are raised to be monsters. But they train the girls to be wonderful girls who should marry well, but not considering the fact that if you don't also train the boy well, the boy will be married to, the woman will be married to a monster. So I don't think that society is to be blamed that is promoting the social norms and not men or women.
I am a mother and I have 2 wonderful sons that I'm raising. Raising them to become good people in the society. And I believe strongly that this fight for equality or equity or whatever you want to define it as should start from the home.
Absolutely.
So what are you doing in line with starting this foundation? Because no matter how you fight for policies and you shout out there for the top, I believe this fight is bottom top. But some people have argued that no, it's you put the policies in place then so that you fight it from. Because if a man understands the vision and he understands, my father, you know, had a lot of girls. If the man understands the vision and he understands that, you know what, this person, she has a lot to offer the world, he would naturally want to educate that child. But if you are now saying you must educate the child and he's not seeing it,
Absolutely.
how would that be effective?
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
So
That's why we talked about benefits and what are the benefits inherent in this. In any case, we are looking at this from almost from all levels. We are not just looking at it from the point of view of the fact that change perception at family level and the problem is resolved. Well, for us, it's a case of the carrot and the stick. Whereas you give the carrot by raising awareness and trying to build self, whether for the boy or for the girl, which is part of the role both the woman and the man should be playing. We also believe that there need to be laws in place that can actually, after raising the awareness and everybody understand how to show respect for one another, and you still have people violating the right of others. You hear a lot about issues of rape today and all of that. They have laws
that cuts across for children,
but
generally.
you still have people breaking these laws. Laws are there, first and foremost, to check human excesses. Because if you leave man in his natural state, men will eat their fellow men raw. But the fact that laws are there are not enough to stop people from committing certain offenses. And that is why laws are in place to make sure that when people commit certain crime, they are punished to serve as deterrent to others who might want to do that.
Now, what I'm hearing was saying, what comes to me, is the fact that we need to talk to maybe the fathers now. And the men must understand, because even though you educate the girl, say, oh, you empower a woman out there, she's empowered. But if she's still under a man, it's difficult for her to exercise that new knowledge she has.
That's right.
So if the men, the fathers, the brothers, the husbands understand this issue of gender equity and gender equality, what are you doing as Voice for Change to educate the men to have a better information?
So that is why I said initially that we are looking at this from all levels. Now, the program is focusing on young people between the ages of 16 to 25, whether male or female, to get them to understand that if we continue with these stereotypes, negative stereotypes and social norms that we are being brought up in and are very, very dangerous for our well-being, that we are not going to have a gender equitable society. We are doing that on one part. And then we have one of the output in the program that is just focusing on working with men, with husbands, with traditional leaders, with parents, with religious leaders, majority of who are men, of course. Traditional leaders, majority of them are men as well. So we have this output that is helping them to look at what we call positive masculinity. Because masculinity could be positive, it could be negative. What we have seen more is that negative aspect of it. And so this output is helping men to realize that if we have men who are working in support of gender equality, society will be better for it. You will have equal partnership. And we are using the word purple to promote our message. Purple for us, if you give birth to a baby boy, traditionally, people will say give the child a blue color. If you give birth to a baby girl, pink is the color. So now, we've realized that if you miss this in the lab, it gives you purple. So we're talking about equal partnership, and we realize that almost both men and women need to be educated about this.
Let me bring out an issue that I think you said much earlier on sex. Sex is the biological definition. Male reproductive organ, female reproductive organ, that defines you biologically who you are.
Absolutely.
But the gender is what society has defined as the role of a female and male. So are you saying that what we need to do is redefine what those roles are, or are we leaving those roles traditionally, or we're saying that how do we merge these roles? I want to understand what the gender equality purpose or objective is for. Is it to redefine what a woman is supposed to do? That your job is to raise children, to do this, the man is supposed to do this. Are we redefining that, or we're saying there's a merger?
Fantastic question. Now, to say that the thing about gender is the fact that they are social construct. And in other words, we are talking about societal expectations. They can change over time. They are not like sex. You are a woman. I'm not going to change you to become a man. Yes. Anytime. I'm not God. I'm a man. I'm not going to change to become a woman, except, you know, with science and all of that. You're talking about transgender. But we are talking about majority of what nature have designed, male or female. So for gender, whereas sex is constant, gender is not. Gender role can change over a period of time depending on how culture interacts. True. So if you have modernity in a culture where society had always expected that it is a man who must be a breadwinner, and over time it's becoming difficult for only man to be a breadwinner and be able to satisfy the family, then of course, who says this role cannot be redefined? We are not talking about very radical. You all are women here sitting with me and you work. But you still go home and prepare the food. You still go home and clean the house. You still go home and sweep. So who is saying if your mother didn't work, your grandmother didn't work, and we're doing all of those domestic chores, but today you are working and you go out there and you are working with the man, who is saying that the man cannot share in supporting you?
I think because you are not using if your female reproductive organ to do those things. You are using your brain. So I think that this is why we must look at these issues again. We are preparing the society for our children of the future, and we are seeing that as society interact, there are certain things that are becoming very, very dangerous for us. We've said again and again that many men are dying too young, and sometimes men ignorantly believe that it is women that are putting pressure on them. That is not true.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, goodness, it's difficult to put you to the stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. Yes, we still have our guest in the studio. Sure.
So our religious beliefs and traditional beliefs, which I think a lot of us got from religion, is that the role of the wife is this, the role of the husband is this. When we start to speak about gender, is because of education, modernization, things have changed over the years, but we will pick the roles that suit us. That it's okay for women to also go and work now, so that they can bring home the bacon. But a man on the streets, when he sees a woman, will say, "How can you talk to me like that? I'm a man."
Have your take at home.
So these are the ways in which we have these problems of gender. For instance, I thank God for my family for educating me, but when I met my boss at the time that I met him, my salary was 20,000 naira. But he said, go and apply for a master's degree. You know, men who did not think that you getting further education should bother them or should be beneath you because you're a woman. How are we changing the mindsets of people around?
Can I say something about religion agenda first and foremost before coming to that? I mean,
pause. Let me take Musa. He's been from Kaduna, I believe. Are you there, Musa?
No.
Yes, he's
Hello, are you there? Please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Musa. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show, Musa. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. Please, I may like to digress a bit. I may want to comment on your newspaper review, if you don't mind.
Unfortunately, this is a very, very
we don't have enough time.
We don't have enough time. Sorry about that, Musa.
Thank you very much.
All right. Issue of religion, yes.
Yes, I was going to say that I think this has to do more with misinterpretations of the holy books. Okay. I've spent some time, and in our work, we spent some time looking at the two major religions in Nigeria, for example. What we find out is that people actually misinterpret these things sometimes, even when we are promoting and practicing our social norms. We say they are religious requirements. This is not what it is. So if you go back to the Holy Book, for example, let's take Christianity, and you look at almost all the chapters and the passages, they are all promoting issues of love, partnership, mutual respect for one another. You go to Islam, that is what you see. But what we have seen, because of the way we have brought up, is that men prefer to quote those passages that tend to contradict these issues.
Submit.
I take one, for example, from the Bible. In the book of Ephesians, I think chapter 5, verse 21, which is what people quote more. They don't quote the one prior to that. Preceding that. It says, women should submit to men, or wives submit to your husband in everything. By the way, I said if it says to your husband, why are men also expecting you to submit to them outside? But that is not even the issue. If you read the verse before that, it says men and women be submissive to one another,
to the other,
in respect to Christ, who is the head of the church. But it goes beyond that. When he started doing the breakdown, after saying women be submissive to your husband, he said men love your wife the way Christ loved the church, that Christ died for the church. And when I have asked many of the young people I work with,
can you
are
die
you
for
prepared
your
to
wife?
die for your wife? They said, God forbid bad thing. So why are you demanding of others what you are not prepared to give? Love and submissiveness, which is easy. If you truly love a woman,
How well is this
submissiveness will
message
come
received?
naturally. So these are some of the issues. If you go to the Islamic religion, you hear many men talk a lot about, oh, the religion says I can marry up to 4 wives. They don't bring in the caveat that also says that as long as you can love them equally. So these are some of the issues, and this is why I talked about misinterpretation, and these are things we need to correct. And perhaps when we begin to deal with these issues more openly,
Okay, let me take this
we
call.
will find solutions to them.
Laja Martins, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning. Please go ahead.
Yes, my take this morning is that education. I've always harped on education. Education is the key word. Once you are educated, you will know what to do. I look at all the women there. About three or four of you are about 7. You have their compound names. These are some of the acceptance that you seem to be subordinate to your husbands or something. You don't have to do that. Once you are educated, you grab it.
Well, thanks very much, Laja. I don't know about that because there are lots of educated men who still insist on this.
And our compound names are actually, in my own case, my total husband's name. Your own case, your total husband's name. Is not, we're not adding parents.
Okay, so
in my own case, my total father's name.
How is it received? The message, how is it being received?
And to be honest with you, once men become clear, and that is why we are actually engaging men and using the platform we're using with men as safe space, where we can talk to ourselves. We don't bring women, we don't mix ourselves up, especially when we want to focus on issues of positive masculinity, for example. Once men start realizing the damage this gender inequality is doing to them, they are beginning to change their perception. So it's more about talking about the benefit of this. So once people see the benefit, they actually change very quickly.
We have to round up, obviously. So, because I know that Voice for Change is an NGO, and you guys are working on the conference, hopefully for men to attend.
Absolutely.
As I said, a lot of women have been empowered. We have this information. We know a lot of these things.
Exactly.
But our male counterparts, a lot of them, they're not even interested. No. So how does a woman get her husband to attend a conference like that? Like, he's probably saying, I beg, but more important things to do. How do you get your men to attend this kind of conference?
Thank you very much for that question. And this conference comes up here in Lagos, interestingly, on the 2nd and 3rd of November, which is just a week away.
Right?
And it's free and we are expecting over 300 men in one place for 2 days. It's huge. And we are inviting men from all sectors, from all walks of life to be at this conference. And we are going to be looking at different issues: gender-based violence, women and leadership, healthier relationship. We've seen that statistics are showing us that whereas, for example, 75% of attempted murder have been carried out by women, 75% of successful suicide have been carried out by men. What is driving that? Aggressiveness. I have been told that I have to be strong. I have to, I shouldn't cry. We weep within, and this is killing us. So we want to discuss these issues.
We have to.
So all men are invited.
Yeah, so we'll give the details
online
on our Twitter pages and on the details for those who are interested in attending. But it was important for us, because as a women's show, it was important for us to bring you on to let people understand that there is a movement going on to help educate men to understand the roles, the traditional roles of gender, and the roles that has to become as we move ahead.
Exactly.
Now, let's take To rush two tweets before we rush on.
Again, says, truth is, this generation has been brainwashed by culture and religion. Let's educate the next generation. Folakemi says, Mr. Dennis, why is it that most women are meant to sacrifice their careers for their families, but this is not applicable to men?
Anyway, we'll talk about that. Hopefully, that's an interesting
We should
angle.
organize our own
We should.
conference.
We're planning on having
for
our own
men.
men's conference. Which,
Yes.
we're thinking of getting something in December. Hopefully, work with you guys.
We will be happy to support
have
you.
a women's. Ladies of your view want to have a conversation with the men.
We call it
Yes.
Purple Movement, and we want everybody to be part of this Purple
So
Movement.
we'll try to do that. It's important we have a conversation with the gentlemen. All right, that's all we can take on the show today. Have a lovely day. Oh, the breast cancer campaign is still ongoing. The best cure for breast cancer is early detection. Please get tested today. Oga, has Madam been tested?
Yes.
Very good. Important.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, everybody.